Hey guys, Rachel Brenke here, and I am the head over here at TheLawTog, the legal resource for photographers. I wanted to share with you guys today a little bit about glamour photography and what the legal client timeline looks like between you and your client. Basically, this is going to be talking about the top legal documents, contracts, that you need to have in place in order to protect your business. These may not be everything, but this is a good foundation to help get you started. These go in chronological fashion from the time that your client comes in the door, the first documents you need, all the way through the very end of the session when you're delivering the products when you're done and complete. We also have a little bonus one to talk about that doesn't have anything to do with your client, but we'll talk about that when we get there. The very first document is going to be a booking contract. Now, I developed these documents with Sue Bryce over at Sue Bryce Education. As we all know, glamour is her thing, right? She's all about the posing, lighting. She is phenomenal. And I was very thrilled to be able to offer these documents, and we both agreed that what the inclusions of this booking contract are great for you guys to have to create the legal relationship between you, the photographer, and your client. This is the document that you guys should get signed before you ever shoot, take money, do anything at all, because it's creating the legal relationship of you guys two together. It's going to set expectations, it's going to convey the responsibilities that you have to client has to you. For example, your completion schedule, when you need to deliver stuff for them, when payment is due, how much is due, all of these sorts of things through rescheduling, cancellations. I've got a whole long list. You guys can check that out. But that booking contract creates and regulates that main relationship of you and the client together. Now, my recommendation, strong recommendation, is that you never shoot without one of these. The other documents that I'm going to talk about are a little bit more negotiable. This one is not negotiable because while we may have all of this fun stuff to kind of outline and the expectations and tell the clients what we're going to do, it's really crucial because it does manage, not doesn't just create, it manages this legal relationship that you have. And this is where a lot of you are probably missing if you either self-drafted a contract or got it from a lawyer who doesn't necessarily understand business or didn't get it from a lawyer at all. You're probably missing a lot of the legal miscellany. Like, what law is going to control that contract? What venue are you guys going to be in should you ever have an issue? What is the dispute resolution process going to look like? And there's other things that need to be included in there as well. This main contract is non-negotiable and needs to be signed by you and the client to get you guys formed together before you ever shoot. Done and done, right? Really, really important. Now, the second supplemental document that often people include within the contract, but I break it out for reasons that I'll explain here in a little bit, is the model release. This model release, specifically created for Sue Bryce to go with the Glamour booking contract and all the other bundles that you see, does two things for you guys. It first, and primary that most of you guys understand, it is the client giving you, the photographer, permission to use their face in promotional purposes and marketing, right? For you to gain other clients. That's the most commonly known one. That is because the client holds publicity rights. They have the control over those publicity rights, which is this face, right? It has nothing to do with your copyright. You have the copyright and ownership of the image itself, but that doesn't mean the client has given up to the control over their publicity rights for the regulation and use of their face. The second thing that the model release should do, if yours doesn't, you need to snag this one, it also is the client waiving claims of compensation for use of their face in marketing. A savvy lawyer will figure this out. A client who may be a savvy lawyer will figure this out as well. And you don't ever want to have to end up paying compensation out to your clients because you didn't have the proper language in here keeping you from ever compensating for use of their image in marketing. So booking contract and model release are the two main ones that you need to start with. Really important. Those are probably the non-negotiables. However, sometimes you do need to waive the model release. Sometimes you have a client who is just a private person, or maybe they work in an occupation that doesn't allow them to have an online presence or even a public presence. This is something you have to consider and figure out for customer service in your own business compared to your business policies. Do you want to offer it or not? My recommendation is to split out the contract and model release for multiple reasons. One, in situations like I just mentioned, when you allow a client to be able to waive the model release, you can just get rid of it and keep that contract in place. The contract allows you to shoot. The model release is allowing you permission for use in marketing plus the compensation of claims. You don't need a model release to photograph. You only need it for you to use the images in marketing. But you need the contract to shoot, okay? The booking contract. Don't forget that. Another reason that I keep them separated out is so that we also kind of hope that our clients, not hope, but this is a way to help them read the documents. If they're scrolling through their digital contract and they see there's two different documents, it'll make them pause a little bit, make them look at it, because both of those documents also have two different intentions and end results and goals in mind. The last thing is just a legal best practice, nice little tidbit for you guys to know, that should ever one of those documents become invalidated, if they were together, the whole thing may be thrown out. And that can be really detrimental to your business, especially if you have a claim or counterclaim against the client. You don't really have any contractual foundation at that point. However, if there's two documents separated out, you can get rid of one and the other can still stand. So that's a nice little legal practice for you guys to recognize here. So the main two documents you wanted to start with are the booking contract and the model release. So the next legal document that you need to have is what's called a print release. If you sell digital files, you definitely need to have this, and you guys probably already have a good understanding of what this does. But Glamour photography is typically going to be a personal photograph that they're taking for themselves or to give to a loved one. So it's a personal portraiture in nature, not commercial. That's where the print release comes into play. It is you selling, transferring, giving to the client the license to be able to reproduce those digital files under a personal license. That's what this document does. You can outline what they can do, what they cannot do with it, however you want to control your artwork and the license that you want to sell to the client. So have that print release to accompany the digital files to ensure that you're outlining the proper licenses given to the client. Now the next document was also another one created with Sue Bryce. This is a sales contract. In her workflow, she uses this because at the time of the sales session, this document is used to kind of help lay the legal foundation for the sale and to protect it. It can prevent issues with clients wanting to amend or attempt to cancel an order after it's been placed. This document outlines the client's product, quantity, price, description, how it's going to be shipped or how it's going to be delivered, who has the risk of loss, balances that are due, taxes, warranty, final sale notice, and the other legal miscellany that you guys can leave up to me. So this sales contract you use at the sales session in order to outline everything that I just mentioned. And the last document needed in the legal client timeline before we start talking about that extra one that I mentioned is a product delivery agreement. This is the document that your clients will sign when you deliver your products, such as digital files, albums, canvases, prints, folios, anything at all. It is the client stating that they have inspected the product, that it's in good form, that they accept the product, and that there's no issues. This will hopefully help you should a client ever try to come back and they say that a digital file was missing or maybe the corner of an album was bent. Obviously, we're going to balance all this with customer service, but this is a document that can help you to have a little legal backing should there ever be a client who's trying to assert a claim against you, especially one that you think or know is not a valid one. So we went through the legal client timeline. That was the booking contract and the model release. Those are our two main non-negotiables. Then we have the print release, which is the license that you are selling to the client for the use and reproduction of the digital files. The sales contract, which is used at the sales session. And then you're finalizing it out with the product delivery agreement just so that they are able to sign off that they have received everything, they're happy with it, and you guys have fulfilled everything under the contract. We're going to shift gears just really quickly. And the last document that glamour photographers need to be mindful of is one with your hair and makeup artist. This entire time we've been talking about the contract privity between you and the client. We're going to switch gears a little bit. We're going to talk about between you and the hair and makeup artist. There's a lot of different ways that you can provide a hair and makeup artist to your client. One of them is the client hires directly the hair and makeup artist. That's one way to do it. But another way that I recommend is a good way to provide customer service to your clients is for them to engage through you, the hair and makeup artist service, and then you will contract the hair and makeup artist specifically. Whichever way you want to do it is completely up to you guys. That's just one of my recommendations. And if you do it that way, you need to have this hair and makeup artist contract in place. This is creating the legal relationship between you, the photographer, and the hair and makeup artist together. What services is she going to provide you, and what payment are you going to give to them? It also is going to encapsulate some of the legal miscellany we mentioned before in the booking contract. It's going to outline and set this legal relationship in motion and also protect it so that you're able to provide the best services and the best experience to your client as possible. If you guys have any questions at all, please feel free to submit through the contact form. Myself or my team are more than happy to assist you. I understand this is overwhelming, but just please keep in mind that you never have an issue till you have an issue. So my goal is to help protect you guys so that we can either prevent or alleviate these coming up in your photography business.